Welcome back to Out of the Rut. I'm Xavier.
I'm Ron.
And today we have Ben in the studio. Another Ben. We just interviewed a Ben not too long ago who also worked for a nonprofit. So we're glad to have a second Ben on here to talk a little bit about Hope for the Day. Now, Hope for the Day, for those who don't know, is a nonprofit that specializes or prioritizes rather proactive suicide prevention through education and outreach. So super excited to talk to Ben about that. Ron, I'll have you kick us off, man.
Yeah, for sure. Was there a specific out of the rut moment that actually put you on this path, like the mental health awareness and all that?
Me personally, or Hope for the Day? Because they're slightly different stories.
I would say both. Let's go your side first, and then let's jump into Hope for the Day.
Yeah. Talk to us about some ruts, Ben.
I mean, I don't know that I'll ever get specifically out of every rut, right? But I feel like life, you get good experiences and bad. I'd been on the board of Hope for the Day for almost 8 years in total. Most recently from 2021 or 2020 until I joined as our executive director. So at that time, I was working in venture capital and doing it in a way that just didn't really align with who I was personally or what I wanted to do. But I was like making money, and I felt like it was very important because I had a daughter on the way. We at Hope for the Day had a need for an executive director to step in pretty quickly and somebody who knew the organization. And so in talking with my daughter's mother, my partner, Hannah, she's like, you are miserable. You hate what you do. You love this organization so much. Like, yes, we're going to need money to raise our kid, but we can figure that out. I think the most important thing is that you spend the first however many months or years of her life working on something that you care deeply about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the honest answer is when we did this, it was more of a stabilizing thing for Hope for the Day. And we assumed it'd be maybe 4 to 6 months. That was 2 years ago. I have we're not slowing down. I'm moving in the direction of growing and expanding the organization. So for me, becoming a staff member at Hope for the Day literally was a moment of you can keep pretending that you want to just run and working in venture capital is its own fucked up situation.
Yeah.
Not inherently bad, but just wasn't for me. Or you can pick up and do something you care about and you love, and the rest of it's sort of it's not perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's amazing.
Just kind of came upon it organically that way a little bit.
And I love it. I love what I do. I care about the impact that it has on people. I love being out in the world and seeing people wear our merchandise and seeing people come in here and talk to BK and our baristas and have moments of connection and community and find some safety and security in your life that you're never going to get investing money in venture capital or anything like that, right? Yeah.
No, I love that, man. So kind of in transition, Hope for the Day, what does being in a rut essentially mean for the organization, Hope for the Day, and what does that mean for you in your role as an executive director?
Well, we started, next year will be our 15th year. So we started in 2011.
Hey, happy 15th year, man.
Well, thank you. We still got to get to October, but I think we're going to be okay. We were founded by a friend of mine. His name's Johnny. Johnny had a mentor and a business partner in the music business that completed suicide. And Johnny said he had seen it too many times and engaged with too many people who were battling with demons and didn't have an outlet, right? Or a way to start to talk about these things. And so he created the organization basically with just elbow grease and a want for this not to happen to anybody else that he knew or loved.
Yeah.
I don't know if you call that specifically out of the rut.
I mean, one might say preventing suicide is ultimately preventing the ultimate rut, if you really think about it.
For sure. The one that you can't get out of, yes.
Yeah.
And so, we exist to do more than just prevent suicide, right? Ultimately, that is an outcome from mental illness, untreated, unchecked, unsupported, right? But it's not the only thing that we do here. So, yeah, I mean that is is an ultimate rut. I don't know if we're supposed to say that from a programmatic standpoint, but
sure.
It's a good way of framing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's putting it in the frame of being out of a rut or in a rut is like oversimplifying it a little bit, and definitely not looking to oversimplify what is a very serious problem in the country and the world. But it's a mental struggle, and it's a mental health, problem. And I'm glad there's organizations like you, and I'm excited to be talking about what you guys do as far as mental health awareness and prevention and suicides and things like that. So hell yeah, dude. Can you give us just you kind of delved into this a little bit already, but like a little bit of the history of Hope for the Day, from where it originated to where it is now and how it's evolved, almost a little bit more in detail.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, Johnny was running around at concerts and music festivals. We were at Vans Warped Tour. We were often at Lollapalooza and a bunch of different like great big music activations, right? We were heavy in the pop punk scene, and what that really meant for us and how we did the mental health outreach and evangelism was to meet people where they were and to show up in a way that was very authentic. So if you look at our merchandise, right, it's okay not to be okay. We trademarked quite a long time ago, right? But that was revolutionary 15 years ago. Yeah. It's a different sort of like sentiment than it was. But I mean, our brand is very aligned with pop punk, right? We were in the music scene and, talking to people really directly, almost in your face, right?
Yeah. You were meeting them at these venues versus them trying to come to you. Because essentially, like, at least my experience with the pop punk scene, especially in Chicago, is like, it is a large catalyst for their artistic expression is mental health. But it's like, sometimes that music isn't enough, or there's more progress needed to be done. So I feel like you guys do a pretty damn good job at meeting them more than halfway in terms to kind of get that message across.
For sure. And I think at the outset, I'm not speaking for the people who were here at the beginning, right? But it just felt like this is an opportunity for those people as people to give back to that community and grow within it, right? What happened is that message resonated, and it resonated, I think, a lot more than just in the music scene, right? Everybody loves music. Not everybody goes to pop punk shows, right? And so as we've grown and more people have become aware of us, and as organizations tend to do, right, you want to take on more things. You want to figure out how else you can do what you do. And that's expanded us into the coffee business. So we've been here in this coffee shop in Logan Square for 7 years, 2018. We opened a spot in Hyde Park just over about a year and a half ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're looking to expand more into that, right? We've got programmatic educations. We do workplace stuff. We do figuring out how we can continue to give that same or similar impression that people got from us at a pop punk show 13 years ago, where they are today.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great, because it does extend obviously beyond just the music industry, but like it's like the music industry sort of being the foundation of where this organization started is a really cool, I think, angle to work from, because I was a dancer for a long time and stuff like that, and it's true, like the emotional, the mental toll that those industries take on those individuals is often very much skirted because it is, or kind of brushed under the rug because people see it from the lens of, they're creating art to entertain me, and that's what they're doing, and it's like, yeah, but to make that art that entertains you is often taking a huge toll on people's mental health.
Hell yeah, and you make no money for basically the entirety of your life, and your body isn't. Yeah.
So it's one of those cool things where I find the genesis of the organization's really cool in that sort of being its foundational element. But you brought up the phrase "it's okay to not be okay," and Ron, you had a question about that phrase specifically, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that phrase. If it's is it closely tied to your work, and why is that message important to you and to the company?
Yeah. I mean, it's foundational, right? At the end of the day, if we're endeavoring to help people identify their mental health struggles, to reduce the stigma around mental health, to hopefully keep somebody from completing or attempting suicide, right? The first thing that we have to say is like, you're okay, right? I think a lot of time there's so much shame and stigma built up around what someone is feeling and the fear of expressing that with somebody else, that welcoming somebody to say like, I love you on your bad days too. I don't care how sad or how bad you feel. You are worthy. We can talk about this. We can share in this. I can sit with you. Like all of that stems from that phrase. And so it is not as though we seek to eradicate mental health challenges, or we're going to get rid of depression or anxiety or more severe mental health or different spectrum mental health behavioral issues, right? What we are saying is it can save a life to let somebody know that even if they're going through something, they can talk to you about it. They can talk to us about it. They can come here and sit and talk to their community about it. And we can work back from the worst thing to a thing that we can manage.
And I think it's kind of what I find interesting about the phrase too. The phrase "it's okay to not be okay" is like it almost puts a positive spin on the phrase. It's admitting the first step to solving a problem is admitting there's a problem, because the word problem alone has such a negative connotation. It's like I'm wrong, that there's a problem, there's something bad about me. But it's like by admitting it's okay to not be okay. It's like no, you're not broken. There's not a problem here, but you're struggling through something that everyone or a lot of people struggle with, and it's okay to be that way. We can work towards solutions. You know, I like the positive spin on the messaging.
Well, and again, I inherited this, so I can't really take full credit for it. But the value, like what it resonated to me, we were talking about this because I'm doing some end of year communications. But like the first time that I met Johnny, he said that to me, and I was like, we opened up. I think we're having a beer or whatever, and it was like. I was talking to him about I beat myself up. I beat myself up because I'm bad in relationships. I'm not, I didn't make it as far, professionally
in
as I
music
want.
or whatever.
Yeah, it was sports for me, but like I didn't make to where I want to go, and I was like very self-critical. And he was like, yeah, man, me too.
That's okay.
I do that shit too. Different, but same, right? And that like sort of like it wasn't the first time somebody had said that to me. It was the first time that somebody had said it to me, and it came from a place of like respect and admiration, as opposed to like, yeah, whatever, man, you're fine. Like, rub some dirt on it. Everybody goes through it, right? Yeah,
there's a community to be had in shared experiences like that, and I think that's the other cool thing. I mean, among the various cool things that I love about Hope for the Day, or my experience with Hope for the Day is like there seems to be this willing or this drive to establish a community of people that are struggling together, and it's like, hey, through the togetherness of it, we can solve our problems or find at least ways of finding more catharsis and more happiness in our lives by. Again, commiserating kind of together versus individually in our own little islands.
Yeah, I mean, and however you want to look at it, right? Many hands make light work, right? Yep. Like, yeah, it takes a village. Like, however you want to frame it, we're all going through things alone is very difficult. Going through mental health struggles, fears, doubts, anxieties alone is very, very difficult, right? And
I think like on the outside, like it's a lot simpler to see what someone's going through and try to give them advice on it. But how do you handle it when it's like internal, like when it's you going through it and you have to tell yourself, you know what, it's going to be okay? Because I know it's hard for all of us to do, right?
Yeah,
and
we see it's easy to identify the problems in other people and see that, but it's a totally different thing.
But guiding yourself's a lot harder. So how do you handle those moments?
Well, it's funny you say that. So like if you take some of our educations, the analogy that we give is like if somebody came walking in here and their ankle was sprained, broken, right? They were dragging their foot. They were obviously in pain, right? It's very easy for you to see that, and it's very easy for you to know that just based on physical pain is hard to hide, right? Emotional pain is very easy to hide for a lot of people, right? Oftentimes, I mean, I was for many years like extremely practiced in not telling anybody what was going on with me, right? Yeah. And so it's okay not to be okay. This is like a little on the head, but like going through that process of talking about that and recognizing that I was just like not showing up and telling people that I wasn't okay. I was telling them the opposite. I was I'm trying to be funny, right? I'm using humor. We're out doing
disarming with humor. 100%. Big on that. Big on it.
A lot of the funniest people you know are the saddest people you know, right? Yeah. And that's an unfortunate trope because like they're using that as a mechanism to keep people from finding out how they really feel. Right.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up too, because I read that quote so long ago that like some of the happiest people are some of the most sad in the inside. And it's like, and honestly, it's a phrase that's really resonated with me because I'm the exact same way. Like I'm big on disarming with humor. Yeah. I'm a very exaggerated, enthusiastic, animated person. And who would have thought, man? Who would have
never guessed?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. But like a lot of that I think stems internally from that idea of like, I know what it feels like to be sad. And like the last thing I want people to feel around me is sad, and it's like, okay, how much of that is me masking my own feelings to myself or being in some way dishonest to the people I'm around and how much
also just drains your own battery, right? Because you're charging them up while you're just draining yourself. And like, you go home exhausted, but they go home like, oh, that was a good time with him. Yeah. And you're like, man, I'm wiped. I'm beat.
No, for sure. But you brought this up already, I kind of want to deep dive into this. So you guys you various resources that you guys help provide. I know you guys do seminars in workplaces and schools. There's a kit that you guys help like prepare in terms of getting people these resources. Can you talk a little bit about those different outreach services that you guys provide at Hope for the Day?
Sure. So we look at it in multiple layers, right? Education is one aspect of what we do. So when we talk about educations, we have our primary programming, things we don't say, 45 minutes to an hour, part 1, part 2 can be up to 2 hours, right? And it's interactive. We talk to people about baseline of mental health, how to identify crisis that might be coming up in themselves and another, and then help them with the, and then what, right?
Yeah.
So, and then what might be trying to help somebody have a de-escalating conversation. If you look over Ron's shoulder, you've got some, well, it's around the corner.
I'm like, everybody take a look
over there, right? You've got some like action plans. We've got cards printed with just like, here's what to do if you're engaging with somebody in crisis, right? So we distribute those alongside educations or just completely independent. We'll be at a community festival or we'll be at a concert or wherever we are, just trying to get those into people's hands. We're trying to do and expanding on our ability to do that online. So I was just on the phone trying to get somebody to pay us or fund us for it, but trying to grow that outreach and expansion so that in the same way that you and I can sit down and have a conversation person to person, we can reach somebody, you know, over Instagram or TikTok who sees and engages with us.
Expanding your audience a little bit so your messaging and that the resources are, again, hitting a wider audience.
Right. And getting those resources into people's hands, not because they're going to use them, hopefully the day that you hand them the card, but so that they remember or have like ready access to them in the event that they do.
Yeah. Or someone they know does
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
Like the degrees of separation between every one person and someone who is struggling with mental health is very small. It's never a large degree of separation, you know?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but helpful to still have resources for.
Unfortunately, I mean, just we are all typically only 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from somebody who's completed suicide in the United States.
Yeah.
It's 131, 132 individuals every day complete suicide. And
Jesus.
So right.
Yeah.
If you compound that, right, it is a epidemic.
Period.
Yeah.
So what is a common trait that you've noticed in like young people when they're going through a mental crisis?
I don't think there is one, right? Everybody's mental health is individual, and everybody's experience with and their presentation of how that is different, right? So we talk about more baseline of yourself, baseline of others, right? If my baseline is I'm extremely extroverted, right? Yeah. I love people. I love talking with people. I will play hockey at any time of day. I skate at 11:10. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be with my kid, and I just like the Energizer Bunny, right? That's my baseline.
Yeah.
I a cup of coffee. Sometimes I wipe my eyes, but I'm good, right? And baseline is I'm telling jokes and we're having fun and I'm doing these things. This is how I present normally to the world. If you were my friend or my family and you invited me to go skate at 7 p.m. on a Thursday and I didn't have obligations, but I didn't go or I didn't show up. If you called me at 9 a.m. and you're like, did you just wake up? And I was like, yeah. So who got up with Rose this morning? Like, Hannah, it's fine. Don't worry. Hannah got it, right? If you started to notice that I wasn't showing up, I was here, right? But I'm bleary-eyed or I'm not talking. I'm not trying to make jokes. I'm not interested in what you have to say or saying something back. That might be an indication that I might be going through something. It's a difference or a dissonance of who I am as a person, right? And that's going to be completely different from my partner's mother, who was an extreme introvert. And like,
it's true.
Yeah. She's just going to present differently. So I don't mean to give you a non-answer, but the truth is it's really
hard to
individual.
tell.
There's no real common thread between any two people.
Person to person is different.
Yeah. Which like makes sense, but it's always something you hope that there is like something identifiable where it's like, hey, if you're checking these 3 boxes, you're a risk. And it's like, how do you get that person to help or get help to that person? And it's just not that simple. It's just not.
Well, and I mean, the practice of psychiatry, we are not psychiatrists. I am remarkably not a psychiatrist, right? Or a psychologist. There are commonalities or markers that they use to try to define mental health crisis, mental health disease, like that is a completely separate side of the world of support than what we live on.
Sure. And I mean, and both have their place, because obviously you want people that are invested or investigating into the different signs and different symptoms of mental health before it becomes a thing, so that way it can be treated. But you also need people with boots on the ground being like, hey, these people are already struggling. Yeah. Let's help them out right now, while these people, this other subgroup is kind of investigating the chemical makeup that they can identify behind the scenes a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we are remarkably pro-therapy as an organization. I'm pro-therapy as a person. I think that is something that we recommend everybody who can afford it or is able to access it can go to, right?
Yeah. Going into the coffee portion. So why? So actually, I am going to backtrack. You guys, I've known you guys to be very collaborative in what you guys do. Obviously, music being a big part of what you guys have done and probably still somewhat continue to use. Yeah. But then you guys have branded and expanded beyond just the music scene. To name a few other organizations, type organizations that you guys partner with, what other organizations do you guys relate with? Obviously, you work with podcasts.
We work with podcasts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben.
This year we'll do. We used to call it our IPA series, right? But we're broadening that to just basically be like a partner beverage to our hospitality programming. So 86 The Silence is the name of our programming and hospitality. We work with large enterprise restaurant groups all the way down to single location bars and restaurants. Just
cool.
Hey, again, giving this education, talking specifically about the stressors that come up when you work in hospitality, right? Infrequent hours, infrequent pay, screwed up REM cycles. Closing a bar down at 4 a.m. means you're just not going to get a lot of sleep, right?
Yeah.
And so how do those stressors play into somebody's mental health, and how can we start to support people if, again, they fall out of baseline? We are partnering with a number of different, both alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverage providers and some hemp-based providers to create stuff that we can sell through to those bars and restaurants, right? So it used to be called The Things We Don't Say IPA series. We've broadened that to just be 86 The Silence, and that's people are doing IPAs. They're doing, I don't know, like a mom water, cut water thing.
Yeah.
Everything in between. So
the alcohol game is always a booming industry for sure.
It's actually not. So Alc now Alc-Bev is going through like a really serious contraction. A lot of craft brewers are going out of business.
Is it because of weed?
Not specifically. It's actually the youth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the youth culture and their relationship with alcohol.
Yeah, it's actually getting way healthier. I'm not the alcohol expert, but the explanations that have been given to me are like, Gen Z is drinking way less than we did.
Yeah.
I did, right? I'm older than you guys. But your average alcohol consumption is going down. Consumer sentiment is just I think alcohol might be bad for me, or I don't like how I feel, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a big study that said alcohol is directly linked to causing a bunch of cancer. And so, you've got all these different things that are sort of coming to the head. Plus, I think a lot of breweries were built or expanded during the pandemic when everybody was drinking. A lot.
It was all we can do for a while.
Yeah. No shame whatsoever. I was one of them. That's just part of it, right? But then you build your business based on pandemic drinking rates, and now all of a sudden
you don't have that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's interesting. I would not have guessed that, but I guess it does make sense, because you do hear a lot about younger people kind of straying away from that culture, and even millennial culture. To go out to a bar and hang out with your friends is way more expensive than it was when we were younger in our earlier 20s. So it's with that also being the case too. Interesting though. That's interesting.
Well, so in the youth culture is really, they're participating in a bunch of new spaces. So you asked who we partner with. A good amount of our fundraising and our exposure, our impact, comes through creators who on Twitch, YouTube, etc., people who go live playing any type of game, ASMR. Some of them do just general variety, improv, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we have an enormous group of people who we impact, send resources to, talk about, some of whom donate back to us in a thing that didn't exist when I was in my early drinking years or whatever, but they're participating with us, and we're meeting them in a space that 10 years ago, 5 years ago wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Right. It is really wonderful. And I'm super excited to dive deeper into this programmatically. It's also just a strange extension, right? We've been very in person, and then all of a sudden we're getting DMs from somebody in New Zealand who's like, man, I saw this. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, it's interesting because the transition from an in-person medium to a lot more virtual world. It's like to connect with young people, it almost does. You do need to have a digital footprint somewhere. And honestly, like Twitch streamers, YouTubers, podcasters in our case, like it's a great way to get your message out there and get those resources in the hands of people who need them the most. And that's kind of, I've always admired, again, from afar, because I don't have a long history with Hope for the Day, but through the gyms and stuff that we work with and stuff through there, it's like, it seems like you guys are very in tune to what is happening with young people, especially young people specifically. And it's like, okay, cool. We need to stay relevant to these individuals if we want to truly continue to impact them. And that takes a lot of fucking work, dude. That's a lot of work, especially the older you get. It's like, oh God, I have to learn how to TikTok and shit. I'm like, damn.
Nobody lets me on TikTok. I'm not responsible.
My millennial brain capped at Instagram, dude. I was like, I'm capped.
No, we have TikTok. We support people in that space.
Sure,
It's all my staff, volunteers, board, like everybody who comes together on this. We have all agreed that I'm not the guy, right? Like gray hair is just the line.
That's actually really funny because first for this podcast, Xavier wanted me to do the Instagram stuff. And I was like, sure, I probably can handle that. No big deal. I spent an hour, and the first thing I did, text Caitlin, hey, can you handle the Instagram stuff? Because I can't figure it out.
1 hour into it.
1 hour into it, I gave up. I was like, I can't do this no more.
It's knowing yourself is important.
Honestly, like it was like the same day. Like we joked about this on a previous episode, but if you go back to our Instagram to that first post, it's like the one Ron did, and literally like an hour after he posted that, he's like, hey, by the way, this is Caitlin. She's going to be doing this. Because I was like, cool, tight.
Yep. So that post got removed and she just started like posting some good stuff.
She cleaned that shit out.
Totally respect it. And I will tell you that I did completely, consistently underestimate how difficult making good content is.
It's so fucking hard.
I mean, all of this is like this is I thought we just talking to some AirPods. Like, no, it's not easy, but you see it on the internet and you're like, oh yeah, somebody just
how hard
that.
can it be?
I mean, you hear like the TikTokers, they spend 12 hours just to get like 2 hours worth of good content.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm
it's
like,
crazy.
and like, yo, I don't have that. My ADHD brain do not have that kind of patience, but you know, an hour and a half to sit down and try to learn. Honestly, what you see in front of you, Ben, is the extent of what I know how to do, which in the world of podcasting is like super superficial stuff. I'm just like, cool, dude. This is about as far as I know how to do. But
so how'd the idea of a coffee shop, like as a mental health space, come to life?
Yeah.
That's because I love coffee. Coffee's like my big thing.
He's a huge coffee boy.
Addicted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had ours yet?
I have not. Okay. No. So I was like super excited to come here, but then I was told you guys were closed at the moment. So.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make a special trip.
Yeah.
Just to grab our boy a coffee.
You got to come try some. It's great.
It's very good.
We did start closing this location earlier in the afternoon. Transparently, after 1 o'clock, our sales were dropping to $10-20 an hour. It's like,
it's not a lot of foot like it's a nice area, but there's not a lot of like foot traffic once you hit the afternoon.
Correct. So we would love to get back to the place where we're having people in here more consistently throughout the day, but just like, you know.
Now, is this the only location you guys have? Or
no, you mentioned you just opened another one.
Yeah.
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hyde Park is embedded at University of Chicago Medicine. It's in their Center for Care and Discovery.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's great. Good overlap. I think
good place to put. Great location.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that's been really great for us. Much smaller footprint. This is much more of a community space. That's more of a kind of grab and go with some basic resources. But if you go back to the beginning of this, we had a partnership with Dark Matter Coffee.
Okay.
They created our Sip of Hope line, right? Which was just co-branded coffee with resources that they bagged and brewed. They bagged and roasted, and then they sold through their cafes and at Whole Foods. Did extremely well. So my understanding is we basically got down and said, hey, like let's open a space. Let's do this. Dark Matter was a great partner with us in helping us get this lifted off the ground.
Yeah.
And we opened doors basically just like this is a physical manifestation of the mission, right? If we say we're building community, if we say we're giving out resources, I mean, I think we are.
Yeah.
But this is the place where people can come in and access them, right? Coffee is a great convening resource. It's not alcohol, right? But I mean, it'll get you going.
Yeah.
It
checks a different box that a lot of people look for in their day.
It's conversational and habitual, right? There's some ritual to getting your coffee, right? And so that builds comfort and consistency and builds trust with people who, if they, again, are not ready to have a conversation, but they're ready to just some way to come and feel and be warm, this is where they can be.
Yeah.
All of our baristas take mental health first aid certification training. So,
That's cool.
Wow.
yeah.
And that's like, I imagine that's not required from most coffee places.
I would say we are one of only, maybe.
Probably
I don't
one of
know.
one that require it.
I've never actually worked at a coffee shop before. Of all the weird jobs I have, coffee shop has never made the list. So
Lots of fun. Lots of coffee.
oh sure,
Yeah.
oh god, thank God.
I would just work there just for the free coffee.
It's probably
to
for
be
the best
honest.
I don't work at a coffee shop because your
Yeah.
boy would be IV drip,
just, like,
baby,
hook
just
it up,
caffeine.
yeah.
You can't. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I drink a good amount of coffee. I have about 3 cups of black coffee a day.
Yeah.
We did tastings for a new roaster. We sampled several roasters, working on some new supply side earlier this summer. And I would leave
Wired.
like it was uncomfortable. I was like so caffeinated that my brain was shutting down. Like
Damn.
I was, it was too much.
Yeah.
Fun, but too much. But yeah, so I mean, the mental health first aid is something that we do. Just again, it's not every day that somebody comes in here in crisis, right?
Yeah, but it's aligned with who you are
Correct.
as an organization.
And if we're going to open ourselves up for those types of conversations, everybody who works here needs to be able to have them, right? And so they do frequently guide people towards resources, guide people towards, and that's not always mental health. Sometimes that's financial aid. I mean, we have, you knocked it over earlier, but our, food, our food donation box that goes for
Been here for 5 minutes,
mutual
already
aid,
breaking shit.
like,
Way to fucking call me out, Ben. 100%. Just curb stomp that sucker. My bad.
I mean, it was well intentioned. It's in a tough spot, right? But we're just trying to help, right? Because most of the time there are 2 baristas working at all times at both of our locations, not because we necessarily have the flow through for it, but because I don't want somebody to have to say, hey, like somebody's identifying that they're in trouble and they need help. Like, let me finish up this latte and I'll get right back to you.
Yeah,
right?
please. I need to get this person their mocha first before I help you.
Yeah.
You want them to be able to help in the moment.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I love that.
I was gonna say, obviously being in the mental health space and opening up a coffee shop, what do you think is why is coffee such a powerful connector to conversation?
Yeah, I mean, you get amped up, right? You get, again, there's some ritual aspect of it. There's also some, like, it's an interstitial, right? You don't need to have coffee. You need to have, even in a way that you don't necessarily need to have food, right? You coffee is something that you're going out of your way to do and get and sit down and break up your day, right? And so that is a space to have a conversation for some people. Coffee culture in general is just like hang out, work, sometimes strike up a conversation.
I will say coffee is kind of strange in that way, like where the ritual aspect of it, I find, or I think does kind of lend itself to being a very disarming space of like, hey, whereas you might run into the same person out in the street and be like, oh God, please don't fucking talk to me. It's like for some reason sharing a space with people with coffee and like in an environment like this, it just like puts people's minds at ease and opens them up to the ability to like have a conversation with people you don't know, or even like opening up to people in a way that you're not familiar with. And it's something that I think people relate to like saunas. Like whenever it's like, oh, I go to the gym and I'm going to go to the sauna, and it's just like you and like 5 other dudes just sitting in there. And for some reason, someone always insists on talking to you in there. Yeah. And it's because it's that ritual element. It's that place where it's like, hey, you know what? We're just sitting here for a while. I'm enjoying, the peace of mind that I get from getting slapped with some steam. Like, let's strike a combo.
Maybe you just look really good in a towel.
Hey, dude, maybe you just look super fine, man.
That's actually funny though, because like growing up, my mom like obsessed with coffee, addicted to it.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from.
Well, growing up, I was always telling her, I was like, I don't understand how you drink this. This stuff tastes terrible. Because she let me have a sip.
Yeah.
I like the smell of it, but I was like, I'll never drink coffee.
Yeah.
And she always told me, just wait. You're going to hit an age where you will start and you'll never go back. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm at the age where like I cannot imagine having
not starting your day with it.
Coffee now.
It's the ritual, man. Yep. It's the ritual that's so disarming. And I think it's interesting because to Ron's point, I would never have thought mental health coffee combo would be such a thing, but yeah, just the disarming element of it that opens people up to conversations and stuff. It's weird that coffee has that effect on people.
It does, and I don't want to make it sound like everybody is in here just like having a hug and a good cry. Like a lot of people just sit side by side, they work, right? It's just sort of, This is what was it in tag? This is safety. You chill. You're fine. You're safe. Yeah. Do whatever you want. Yeah.
You're at home base right now.
That's what I was looking for.
I'm looking for home base and tag. I got you.
I feel like it's like the opposite end, but the same thing, or like I would say the two sides of the same coin, where like if someone has a long day at work and they're like, oh, I just need to have a drink.
Yeah.
And it makes them feel better. But instead of like, hey, I'm going to have a tough day, I can't get started without my coffee. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's like,
but I like the coffee thing, man. And so again, deep diving more into the coffee shop, like when people apply to work for here, like, do you get applicant? Like, do you have openings often? Does people apply? And if they do, are there qualities that you look for in people that align with is it the mission first? Is it the coffee experience first? Like, do you know roughly how that process goes for the location?
Our GM could tell you better.
Sure.
In my experience, there is a subset of barista culture that embodies both the knowledge of coffee and the want to make their community a better place, right?
Yeah.
If we can find those two things, and we're pretty sure that somebody wants to show up and is capable of doing the work, like I've met everybody who works for us. I think I've met everybody who's worked for us for at least the last 6 years. And every single one of them, all very different people, but all very kind, all very much interested in just like, do you feel at home? This is hospitality in a different function, right? But do you feel at home? Do you feel warm? Do you feel safe here? Right? Like the machine's really good. We can make an espresso with right beans and the right, procedure. That part we can knock out. And so we try to hire based on, are they going to be able to
a good culture?
Yeah, exactly. Are they going to help to build the community?
No,
I agree there, because like when I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
there.
you're good. Take it away, brother.
Like, so obviously I just hired quite a few people, and what I noticed is you can teach anybody a job, right? Like you can hire somebody, you can teach them the job. I hire solely based off personality and who you are, like as a person. So like any question I ask is based off, like it's gonna like allow me to figure out who you are as a person, like what I can expect when you come in. And then that's where I'll be, okay, you know what? You're a good fit. I'll hire you. I can show you how to works.
I mean, I imagine it falls under two things. It's like, hey, how am I going to enjoy working with you personally? But also, like, do you understand what we're looking to achieve? And can you further that? And can you exist with that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Right. And I think somebody who's worked at Starbucks, not that there's anything wrong with Starbucks, right? They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
we would like to make some money here, and we give back 100% of the proceeds that we make back to the mission.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. We don't make a ton of proceeds, right? It's staying alive plus kicking a little bit back up.
Okay.
So helping somebody understand that like the lane here is to build the community, to be the support, to sell enough coffee that we can continue to do this is different.
Is the goal.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we talked about collaborators. We talked about Hope for the Day some more. I'll let you shoot off. Do you have any other questions, Ron? I have some more, but I want to make sure we squeeze yours in, brother.
No, go ahead, man. I'll
So what is so executive director? You've been doing that for a handful of years. You said 6 years, right?
Sorry, 2 years.
2 years. 2 years. Yeah. What does a good day in your job look like? Where it's like everything's perfect. There's no like you come to go to work great. You leave work feeling great.
A good day for me. Oh, that's a good question. All right, so I'm going to start this by saying the worst part of this job by far is having to tell people I'm so sorry that they lost a loved one. And that happens way more often than I'd like to admit. And it wasn't meant to be like heartstringy or manipulative.
No, but
a good day means we didn't have to say, I'm so sorry to hear about your son, your family member, your cousin, right? That's a good indicator. And thankfully we haven't done one of those in a little bit. Once we get past that hurdle, if we can have all of my people get whatever they need, have all of our bills paid, have everybody just set to take care of the things that we agreed we were going to do.
Yeah.
And then we can go out there and just be a part of the world and be a part of the community and try to be a light for the folks who we are around. I'm happy.
Was there a specific moment where you realized your work was having an impact?
Yeah. That's a great question. I get overwhelmed sometimes with just the like small stuff, right? I see people wearing our wristbands or
pretty sure this black one is a Hope for the Day one that
I have
all the white faded off of it. Yeah. Got it, baby.
I'll get you a new one. We've got a pile sitting right there.
Thank you. Hell yeah, man.
It's the least we can do. the small stuff, right? Of like you catch somebody wearing a wristband or you see somebody wearing merch. Or sometimes I'll talk to somebody. Well, I walked into a store. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I walked into a store relatively recently wearing my "It's okay not to be okay" hat. And the manager and I were talking about some of the stuff that they had out. And he was like, "What is that hat about?" And I told him, and he's like, "Man, I appreciate that a lot." And I was like, "Well, that's great, man. Is there anything we can do for you?" He's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, I don't mean to be rude. Are you going through something right now?
That's who we are.
And he was like, yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm having a hard go of things, right? But this is a little bit of jumping through it, but like, I don't want to give any specifics."
Yeah.
Long story short, we had a conversation that was very honest for two people who didn't know each other. And he told me he was going through some stuff, and we were able to, I check in on him every now and again, right? He went into a program and got some support, came back out, says he's happier and he's feeling better than ever, right? I don't think that or that hat changed that person's life. I think that the comfort in being able to talk about that was like an interstitial, or like something that was like, okay, I can go and make a call, or I can go try to like take a step. Like it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
I feel supremely good about the stories that we hear that go like that.
So in the opposite, love the story. In the opposite, so we talked about a good day. We talked about the moment where you felt like you were really making an impact.
Yeah.
Now, I think you kind of answered it already, but like a bad day in your job, just to kind of give an idea of like what exactly, both ends of the spectrum essentially.
Yeah.
Like what does a bad day look like where it's like, damn, like today was hard, and how do you get yourself out of that funk when you find yourself into it or in it?
The work of being an executive director of a small, infrequently funded nonprofit is very difficult, right? The nature of our work is really hands-on and can lend itself to some really sad outcomes, right? But it's also really difficult to fund. Grants, traditional government funding sources who would fund a lot of nonprofits previous to what's going on now, don't particularly like prevention because it's inherently untrackable, right? So having a conversation with somebody who went and then later enrolled in care or services, right?
Yeah.
Next day, next week, next month, we don't really know what happened, right? For the city, the county, the state to fund that is very difficult to find.
Is it like a metrics thing, or like they like to track?
Yeah,
they like to track
outcomes.
the success, and if they can't track it, it feels they just don't care as much.
That's not they
They
don't care, right? It's convincing people, why do you need to give money to this right now when everything else needs money,
Got
right?
it. Okay.
I tend to believe that philanthropies and governments who fund organizations like ours are trying to put their money to the place where they believe that it can get the most outcome, right? For us, we have to figure out how to support through things like coffee, through partnerships like streaming fundraising, like, selling merchandise at festivals and events, right?
Yeah.
And we've been able to elbow grease up enough of an organization that we can pay people salaries and benefits, right? We can take care of our staff. And it's difficult, right? It's running a true small business that, some days are really hard. Our former accounting and payroll team forgot to shut down our unemployment insurance with the state of Ohio. And so we owe the state of Ohio retroactive taxes that I have to go chase down and pay, right? It's not the end of the world, but it's just one more thing that we've got to take away from the mission budget to go fix something.
It takes your time away from things that maybe you feel like are maybe more important, but are still important that you have to complete.
You definitely have to pay your taxes. I 100% agree with that. But
we love the IRS, guys.
Yeah. No, it's difficult. It's fun.
I feel that's good. Like I would have a hard I'd have a hard time with those tasks too. Like I'm not a textbook office knock out bunch of emails in a day type. So I could see the monotony and the struggle of knocking out those things when they become a problem. Yeah. They're not my favorite either.
I don't even like reading emails day to day.
Yep.
I'm like responding to them.
Dude, put that flag it and save it for tomorrow.
It's crazy because I'm getting ready to take about a 10-day vacation from work.
Hell yeah.
And my biggest thing that I'm thinking of is I'm going to have 1,000 emails by the time I get back to have to go through.
Dude, send that
Not
away.
ready for that.
Dude, send that away. Put that away message up. Send them a forwarding email address, dude. Just in with Hope for the Day. I know you guys work with both the kids and adults.
Yeah.
You know, workplaces and schools. Do you guys find that there's a big difference between how you guys outreach to adults versus kids, and that maybe how receptive they are to the information?
Yeah. Do you remember being a teenager?
Yes.
Did you listen to anything?
Not a damn thing.
No. You like building trust with a teenager is different, right?
Yeah.
Building trust or building, I guess, somebody's want to care in like a corporate environment is also difficult, but different difficult, right? Where we go into schools, right? We start talking about from the very beginning of our presentation, we're talking about stressors that would, you know, like rustle somebody's feathers, right? Jostle somebody, and that's I just got a new toy or a video. I got a new video game or whatever, but my mom's insisting that I let my brother play it, right?
Yeah.
Specific instances that are more directly identifiable to somebody in that age, right? And I made a pretty broad one there. I'm sure we do much better than that. I know we do much better than that.
Yeah.
On the corporate side, right, talking about 86 the Silence, talking about the stressors that are specific to hospitality, we lead with those, right? We talk to people in plain language in a way that helps them understand that we don't know them personally. We understand a bit about what's going on in their life. And like, it's just a different conversation, but you're not going to have a productive one if you don't get people to want to participate, to want to buy in, to want to be open to it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So would you say it's easier for with kids or easier adults?
Anybody who comes to me with a presentation that I'm not specifically signed up for, I am immediately just not going to pay attention.
Yeah.
And so we do the hard work of breaking down that wall. We get most people, right?
Yeah.
You can't get them all. And the hope is, I think it's easier with kids when they see their peers, they hear their peers. We do a lot of our programming in group settings where we're asking a lot of questions. Again, if we're talking about your mind like a bottle of soda, right? You shake up a bottle of soda and you give it nowhere to go. Eventually that cap's going to want to burst, right? And so we ask kids, like, what's shaking their bottle? 1, 2 leaders in the classroom popping up and saying, like, man, I haven't been able to get my CTA pass working or whatever. I take the CTA to school and like I've been having to walk
Miles.
Right, miles to school, right? Is a bottle shaker, right?
Yeah.
I asked somebody to prom and they said no, right?
Shakes the bottle a little bit more.
Hell yeah. Well, different. But
Different,
like,
yeah. But
when kids start sharing these things, they recognize like, oh shit, like the girl I have a crush on, the person I respect in class, right? They're saying something, they're being vulnerable. Like that opens up that immediacy too.
actually, I have a question for you, Ron, and actually for both of you, technically.
He goes
Did
first.
you have, Ron, did you have, when you were in high school and junior high, did you have like a suicide prevention resource in school?
Not that I'm
Any
aware of.
that you remember jump
Not
out
that
at you?
I'm aware of. No, they didn't.
Ben, I imagine that's probably not the case so much, but
Is that because I'm old?
kind of. No, actually, got me.
Yeah.
So we actually had one. I made the joke that I don't pay attention to seminars, but my first experience with like suicide prevention as like a tool or a resource was in high school or junior high rather. We had like a club. It was like almost like a school club called SOS. It was Students Opposing Suicide is what it was. And I got into it because my first girlfriend when I was like in junior high, when our relationship was rocky and we were going to break up, she had like threatened she was going to kill herself and stuff. And like being, I think of what I was like 12 or 13, dealing with this was so fucking overwhelming, dude. And I had no idea what to do. So I remember going to a counselor and being like, hey, this is what this person's saying. Like, I just don't know what to do. I'm 13, 12. I'm just a boy. I don't know what to do. And it just so happened the counselor I spoke with was like the facility head of this program and stuff. But like, has to be nice when you do get a batch of young people for whatever reason, understanding what what your guys' missions are and making things easier for them to be able to either help the people they care about or themselves with these things. Cause I could tell you when I was 13 or 12, when this happened, like I didn't know what to fucking do. I just knew something was wrong. And
Yeah.
to have adults like counselors or like Hope for the Day and the resources that you have to be able to like lean on and be like, hey, this is outside of my scope of what I know how to do.
Yeah.
Can you please guide me with how I should help this person? Like those probably like, I'd be willing to bet you guys impact more people than you even realize with just the information, regardless if they come to you saying how much it's benefited them or not. Because I wouldn't have been that guy that would have been like, oh my God, thank you, this helped me. But in that situation, like would have fucking helped me out hugely, you know?
Yes. Have you checked in on her? Do you know what she's doing?
I will say that I haven't in a long time, but I was for a while of like, hey, things are good. Like seems like life is good. Things are progressing.
Good on you. Well, and to that point, it's very difficult to get somebody's attention, right? When we get somebody's attention, we try to hold it and give them the most important things that they need to know in the event that this happens. You took CPR training at some point if you worked at Yeah. You don't remember, but you'll remember when you need to, right? And the hope is that no one needs to know what to do with somebody having a mental health crisis, right? But if 988, right? Or is it, where's the resource compass? Or like, what do I go grab, right? That sort of like ability to touch back on that and work back through how do I take care of somebody who's going through this is the objective, right? Because it's not going to happen that day. But hopefully if it does happen, they know what to do.
No, I love that, man. I love that.
So what's your natural response when you like notice somebody who's like disconnected or just not, feeling themselves? Like,
is that for me
down?
and Ben?
That'd be for both of you, yeah.
Dude, I mean, I'll take this one first.
Yeah.
I'm a big like see something, say something. Yeah. Like I'm very communicative in that way, and like I think probably a lot from that first girlfriend that I had in this experience. Like I don't play around with that kind of stuff. If I'm concerned about someone, I'm going to tell someone that I trust, either someone that I trust or I know that person trusts, because like I know how quickly those things can escalate from all of a sudden one day you just don't look fine. And then the next day it's escalated to something a lot further. So like, I'm a big say something, say something kind of guy. I rather you hate me for saying something than me hate myself for letting someone suffer for as long as they have and I, at least you're alive to hate me kind of thing versus like dead and now everyone's miserable, or like it affects not just the people, not just the individual who obviously killed themselves, but that actually cared about them, that maybe that person didn't realize cared about them, But Ben, same question.
The same but different, right? I try not to press on things, right? I try to show up to somebody, ask them like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Talk to me about your life, right? It's usually, you remember Fez from Austin Powers?
Of course.
Can't answer the third question. You can't say no to the third question.
Yeah.
It's like, not the first question you ask somebody. How are you doing? What's going on? What's bugging you? You all right? The third, fourth question, not to be naggy, right? But ask somebody, let them respond. If you're pretty sure that somebody's not doing okay, they're unlikely, if they're not telling you directly, they're unlikely to say something in that first response, right? And so ask again, ask it not in a pressing way, but just like everything good, everything going okay. Start to talk to somebody and give them the space to come to the conversation is how I handle it. I don't think that's our Hope for the Day prescribed methodology.
Yeah.
But like, that's the way that I've felt most comfortable, just like letting somebody come to a conversation from a place of comfort, as opposed to like, hey man, I see something. If I see something like red alarm on fire, yes, we say something. Yeah.
I would say like too, like I kind of like that method. It's asking someone if they're okay and expecting a no in that first answer. But like often if you ask the same question a different way, or you ask it a little bit more specifically, it's like you can sort of chip away at the layers of like, okay, cool. Now we're starting to open up, and now I'm getting to the real issue or something, or at least closer to that, and getting a more accurate depiction of what's going on. I'm a big fan of like, hey, how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's work? It's like, okay, cool. It's like asking the same question, but it's more specific. And it's like, usually people will then be like, well, now that you bring it up, work kind of is this way, that way. And it's like, oh, okay, dope.
If you ask somebody about their work, their family, their relationship, and their money, and they're not complaining about everything, they're probably okay.
Seriously.
Fair way to see it. Yeah.
How about you, Ron? And do you have a methodology of identifying people who are in need and how you go about helping them?
obviously how Ben says it, he's kind of get their base, see who they are and see if it's off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is everybody wants to matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when someone's feeling down, just make them matter. Right. No matter what that is. Like, if someone's like I know people who like want to feel needed. Right. So you just make them feel like you need them a little bit. Like, hey, man, like, I was wondering if you can, or like, just make them feel like they have a real purpose in your life.
Yeah. You can honestly, you can make the most boring thing feel like the most important thing to you in that moment. And it's going to make a big difference to who you're talking to. Right. It's like, you can tell me that work is the same bullshit it's always been, but like, I'm going to at least listen with the intention of someone like this, like it matters, Yeah.
And so, like if it's someone like close to me, like I'll know what their passions are and I'll just kind of just follow through with their passions. Like, if someone's passionate about football, first topic, like
boom, you know how to chip
I just watched the game, like, dude, like, you believe this happened? Like, this player got injured, like, oh yeah, like I was watching, and just kind of trickle from there.
Honestly, I love talking about things that other people are interested in that I have no fucking idea about. Like, I don't know why. I just like it's like speaking to me in a foreign language, but for some reason your boy eats that shit up.
Because you will always learn something.
Yeah. It's just, I'm just like, yo, I just find, I've said this a million times on the podcast. No matter what I do, I think what everyone else does is way fucking cooler than what I'm doing. So I just want to hear about cool shit people are doing.
I'll talk to a therapist about that. You matter and you're worthy, and the stuff that you're doing is very interesting too.
Shout out to my therapist. She knows who she is.
Big shouts. But yeah, I mean, like, do you run it as a bit? Do you, like, when you're acting interested in somebody, do you like, yeah, I totally know about that specific football team.
No, I'm 100% okay being the stupidest person in the room. I'm cool with it. I'm like, yo, I don't have any idea of what you're saying, but keep talking. I'm going to keep chipping away at shit.
Yeah, man. You always learn something.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish more people were okay just like admitting they don't know stuff. It's okay. Like, I don't know shit about podcasts. We're figuring this shit out as we go. But like, if I meet someone who does know a lot about podcasts, like I'm going to ask them at least 10 or 12 questions. They're going to be like, don't you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah, but what you know and what I know, not the same shit, dude.
Definitely.
I'm trying to figure out how to refine my shit.
I just find it interesting listening to what people, have to say or like what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Because, once you start getting into somebody's mind, it's like they either have something cool to say, some stories, or like they teach you something. And I always love to like learn some new shit. Like,
I feel like you better understand the world the more you get to understand different minds and how people's minds work differently. It's like you get a broader perspective of the world.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest or most difficult things that we have going on right now is people assuming that they understand. Like, you might understand one specific narrow sliver of the universe, but like the world is massive. People's experiences are so varied. I understand.
Even just in our country too. Like that was probably the biggest eye-opening thing to like for moving from Seattle to Chicago is like we all live in the same country, but our experiences drastically different.
Dude, you cross 290, everything's completely different.
It's like a different world.
It's just assuming that you know something about somebody. Just there's so much to learn.
Yeah,
it's hard to break that down sometimes because the human mind wants to believe that you've got it all figured out, but
that's just stressful.
Yeah,
like because then you got to feel like you need to know everything, and then like if someone starts saying some stuff that you think you know more, then
just constantly opening your mind up. Moving on to a more light question, like do you like what are some of your hobbies, Ben, that you participate in that keep maybe add some levity into your life? Because you work like this is a very serious job. You deal with a lot of serious topics, and I'm sure some days that weighs on you emotionally, physically, whatever. How do you get out of that like mental struggle of like, okay, cool, I'm just going to lose myself in this one thing for a couple hours to slap the old reset button, if you will?
Sure. This can be a difficult job, but it also has been like there's been a lot of joy in doing the work. So when I'm not doing this work, I first and foremost love spending time with my kid. It's a cheesy answer. It's just like she's at the age right now where she's starting to explore.
Kids are so fucking cool. Dude.
It's just wild.
My niece just got a phone and she FaceTimes me every day now.
Oh yeah,
she's 5 years old. I got a FaceTime from a number I didn't know. I was like, "Who is this?"
Who the hell is
she's
this?
like, "Hi." I'm
like Uncle Ron.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, who got you a phone?"
Honestly, and I don't have kids either, but I will agree. Being an uncle is so fucking cool.
It's
dude.
so cool because you can
being an
spoil them and just give them back.
You give them back. The best part about uncling is they're just not your problem at a certain point.
You can spoil the shit out of them, and it's like, oh, great, here you go, sis.
My sister actually, like, she doesn't let me come over, like, a lot anymore because I would pick up my niece, take her out for ice cream, buy her new shoes, just do whatever. Drop her
best
back
day
off.
ever.
And then she acts.
Your sister is like, you are just fucking up I got a whole plan.
Yep.
She's like, Mom, I'm gonna go hang out with Uncle Ron again because you suck.
There's no discipline over there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Dude, I do this thing too. I have 2 nephews and a niece, all about 5 and younger. So my sister had them back to back to back, and I was like, "You're fucking psycho." But hey,
That's what my sister did. 4 kids or 3 kids back to back to back, like not that far.
She was
off.
like, it just happened that way, and we're just gonna knock it all out. But something that I do is my oldest 2, Kit and Emmett are their names, but they're obsessed with Spider-Man. That's their thing. So like I have this cosplay Spider-Man outfit, and I'll literally dress up as Spider-Man and I'll FaceTime them and I'll walk around the neighborhood. Like in my little Ukrainian village neighborhood, I'm just walking around in the Spider-Man outfit, and it's great because like for one, they think they're talking to fucking Spider-Man. It's the coolest thing ever. But like people on the street will be like, "Hey, Spider-Man, Spider-Man!" And I'm just like waving, and it's like the immersion for them. They're just like, "Oh my god, this is really Spider-Man."
Actually is Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're like, "Holy crap, this is Spider-Man." One time I got some guy in our neighborhood to like, I like muted them, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna walk up to you. Do you mind just saying like, oh my god, thanks Spider-Man for saving my life, blah blah blah." I'm talking to my nephews, and he was like, "Oh hell yeah, dude!" And it was like this random guy on the street was so into it. He was just like, "Dude, Spider-Man, you saved my life. Thank you so much. You're the fucking best, dude." And my nephews are just like, "Oh my god!" They're like losing their little minds, dude.
Yeah, I just think people love
that
stuff
shit.
that's like out of the norm, right? Like everything like day to day just gets so bland. So when something's like seems super different,
it's
like, oh shit,
people
that's
are just
exciting.
like, "Dude, hell yeah, I'll do whatever you want."
Speaking of the difference between LA and New York and Chicago, they would tell you to go fuck yourself. The best thing about being a Chicagoan is we will commit to the bit.
Dude,
you will drop groceries just like, let me, Spider-Man, thank you saved my life.
Dude.
It's unbelievable.
I could not agree more,
Yeah.
man. Chicagoans, like, for having a stigma of being these rough, tough, like, city. Dude, friendliest city I've ever lived in.
Most
man.
laid back.
By
for
far.
sure.
Yeah.
By far.
And you're right. You commit to the bit. When Chicago unites on anything, dude, the whole city's on it, dude. We just get it.
We get it.
We are a very united city in that way.
Yes.
But hell yeah, dude, kids, man. So hanging out with kids, that's one. Any other hobbies or
My child specifically.
Sure. Yes.
Everybody else's are great,
Let's
but not
specify
like
kids are great,
not
but he
weird-
hangs out with his kids. You know what?
Don't make it
Important
weird.
distinction.
Yeah. I still play a ton of hockey. Over the summer, I played golf. I begrudgingly got good at golf, and I really
Begrudgingly is hilarious. I totally get that though.
Yeah. It's just not necessarily my aesthetic, but whatever. I have a lot of fun doing that. I read a decent amount. I try to go to as many concerts or comedy shows as I can afford. And I love hosting. So I cook. We have people over a lot. It's just been sort of like having a kid does just sort of like limit the amount of times that you can go out, right?
Yeah.
But like being able to just like, hey, I'm putting the kid down at 7. Y'all come over. I'm going to make dinner. We do that like once or twice a week. And it's been a great the creativity of physically making something like food, right? And creating something that I can see get completed is different than a lot of the work I do day to day.
Yeah.
And I love that. But then just like sitting around, popping a good bottle of wine, talking to people, and just like whatever it is. Obviously, we can riff on Peter Parker for a while, right? Like, you come have dinner. We're just going to do that for 3 hours. Like, that fills me up in a really deep way.
Nice. So sports, kids, and conversations.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Hey, dude. Sometimes it's that simple, man.
Yeah.
I felt like there was another kid-related question I was going to ask about, like, your kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Or, do you find it? I did remember. Do you find it like exciting when your kid experiences something for the first time, even if it's something that you've experienced a bunch, but like you almost like recapture that feeling of like excitement of like, oh my god, they are so excited about this. I remember when I was excited. I have that with my
I remember
nephews.
before I died inside. Yeah.
But like kind of, but it's like I listen to a song that I've heard a million times, but when I watch like my nephews, or if I watch a video on YouTube for just someone listening to it for the first time and their reaction to it, it's like something about that like just stimulates my brain in the sense that of like, oh my god, I remember what that feeling felt like of listening to this for the first time and the impact it had, and it's almost like you get to relive that again. Do you find that with fatherhood at all?
Yes. So back to your point about being naturally curious about the world.
Yeah.
Acting with like a childlike sense of wonder is one of the most significant predictors of happiness, right? Or sustainable happiness is not looking at something with a predetermined outcome, right? My kid, it basically most of the shit she does is new for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And like she's getting to the point where she realizes like friends, family distinction. So she's got like a baby friend. A friend of ours had a kid 2 weeks before. We did something together with them last weekend. This past weekend, we were getting ready to go over there. Like, what are we doing? Oh, we're going to go see B. Oh, B? And she was like, B. We're like, B. Like, B? You excited? She says, cited. Started jumping up and down. Now she's excited because she learned the word excited and she's going to go see her friend. And like, if you can't find just like joy in that, I don't know if we're operating from the same plane. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. The childlike wonderment, I feel like deep down, we're all just trying to recapture that feeling of being a child and experiencing things for the first time over again. Cause it's a great feeling. It's that constant curiosity. It's that desire to learn new things, and admit that you're quote unquote not the smartest in the room, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm going to take a leap here, probably go beyond my interpersonal skill set. But like, I think that there's a lot of like sadness or personal animosity built to expecting that the answer, the outcome, right? Or having to present yourself like what's going to happen. And there's a lot of like courage in acknowledging that you don't. But a lot of the joy that you can find is on the other side of being like, I don't know what's going on, or I don't know if I'm scared or whatever, but like, we're going to go through it together. Yeah. That's where you get that like feeling of flying is like, well, I jumped and like, I'm still going. Like, this is amazing. I think that, you can like risk mitigate or like put yourself in a position where you pretend that you know everything, or you can like try new things, start a podcast, open a coffee shop, see what happens. Like, the world is there to be experienced if you just stop pretending like you know exactly what's going to happen.
And just have the bravery to take the leap.
Yeah.
Like, well, you could talk yourself out of anything just because you don't have the experience, but the only way to get the experience is to do it.
Yeah.
Take the leap, man. Take the leap.
That's the hardest thing is when someone says, I don't know, they just give up. Like, I don't know where this is going to take me. I don't know if this is safe. I don't know if this, I don't know if that. And it's like, I think I don't know is a big block.
It is.
For people.
I believe that. I believe that.
That's why when you asked to do this, I was like, yeah. Yep. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say I don't know. Let me think about it.
Don't think about it too hard.
Don't even think about it because I'm overthinking. Like,
man.
yeah, let's do it.
The risk is obviously calculated risk.
You never know what's on the other side until you get there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And feel free to chime in with more questions. But like, so in a perfect world, Ben, where would you like to see Hope for the Day progress to in the next 5-10 years if everything worked out perfectly for you and the organization?
Good question. So, we just had our big strategic meeting for the year with the board. They actually want us to go off and hire somebody to do some strategic planning for us so that we can more neatly map out what I'm about to tell you.
Sure.
I think
we get an inside scoop, guys.
You get an inside scoop. You get an unvarnished look into my brain. Good luck. We have so much opportunity to do this broad-based impact, right? Where we're just talking about sharing it's okay not to be okay, handing people resources, getting out and sort of being a brand, right? A brand that welcomes people in and allows them to have a conversation and expand that through media, talking on podcasts, producing content that we can push out into the world that just allows people to tell their story, remove the stigma around mental health. We are going to broadly grow how we reach people both in person and online over the next 5 to 10 years. And then we're going to help back them up with the and then what. So that's going to be more educations in schools. It's going to be more educations in workplaces. It's going to be more of that like flow through to our resource compass where you can go and search any zip code in the United States and find mental health resources. You can also help find financial resources. There's a growing listing of immigration attorneys, right? So if you know somebody who's in the 60647 zip code who might be looking for a no-fee immigration resource, you can actually go to hftd.org, find help, put in that zip code, and they will find that in person, in Spanish.
That's badass.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. So helping guide people back to those things is the big goal. And then I want to open more of these shops. They're wonderful spaces to get together.
Yeah. I mean, we enjoy recording in the space. It's a fucking beautiful spot.
Yeah, it's awesome. Not that we don't also love this one, but
yeah. But like you want more of them and you want each one to get a little bit better than the last. That's progress. That's growth.
Well, there's the growth and the ability to put this into new neighborhoods and be a part of new communities. There's also just the economies of scale of the coffee business. It's like it just gets a little bit easier when you get over 3, and then a little bit easier again when you get over 5. Is like they don't make enough money individually where you can like invest in things in a way that if you had more revenue coming in the door, you could.
Got it.
So it's both like a tactical decision and, you know, like
and a resource decision.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any other cool big plans that you thought of? Like, I love the inside look into Hope for the Day, man.
We will be back at concerts and music festivals next summer, so you can come find us. We will be, shouldn't confirm this till we get the contract, but more than likely we'll be at Windy City Smokeout. We'll be at Riot Fest.
Love Riot Fest.
Yeah.
I'm a big Riot Fest boy. I've gone every year for like the last 7 years.
So many of our team are so psyched about it. So
that's great.
Yeah, we'll be finalizing that. We'll be at Summerfest up in Milwaukee. So we'll be out in the streets a lot more this year, just with the added capacity and the people that we have that are on the team.
Any other questions, Ron? I know we're getting close to time. We still have a little bit,
A
but
little bit of time. What daily practices would you recommend people to have, like, maintain mental health and wellness?
So my daily practice, if I'm doing well, I try to do at least 4 things. Mm-hmm. Try to meditate. I try to sweat. Mm-hmm. Non-specific. I try to get sleep.
Mm-hmm. Super important.
Yeah, and I try to connect, right?
Okay.
And if I do those 4 things, right, I used to have create in there. I've taken that off a little bit for me just because it's become less important as I write less and whatever. But those 4 things for me, if I'm connected to somebody, if I move my body, if I'm unhappy, it's a 50-50 chances because I didn't sleep the night before.
Very true.
Yeah. So if I do those things, I'm going to be able to just be closer to my baseline, right? The more days that I don't do those things, the further from my baseline I stray.
Anything you don't recommend people do? Like, there's so many, and I want to be careful with this because like there are a lot of people who claim that they know how to best solve individuals' mental health things. And it's like some of it, it's like with the inundation of information that's out there, it's hard to siphon out what is actually going to help you and what's actually just someone trying to sell you a product and stuff. Is like, do you notice anything when people come to you be like, oh yeah, I help my mental health because I do this, and this, and you're kind of like, maybe not the best?
So I'm never going to say that somebody identifying something that they do helps their mental health is a bad thing, right?
Fair.
Hey,
Completely
that
fair.
works for you. Go for it.
Yeah. Preach their own.
The general principle is harm reduction, right? So like I do not care if you drink. I do not care if you use drugs. I would recommend some over others. But like in general, I'm not in the business of saying this, not that. What I am in the business of trying to tell people is be honest with yourself to the extent that you're able. Be honest with the outcomes that you expect to happen and then what happens, right? So like you mentioned, Ron, earlier, like somebody wants to go to a bar after work and have a drink because they help it wind down. Like that works.
Yeah.
I'm pro alcohol and like it works for me too. If I go to a bar every night, several nights a week and have several drinks, I'm going to notice myself be in a worse place, right? I'm going to have a harder time getting back to baseline. I'm going to have a harder time being calm when I'm not drinking, right? And then all of a sudden we're in a place where I've got to work through that as opposed to just like what's going on within me.
Yeah, it's almost like you're doing this thing because it helps you, but then you're almost indulging in it in a way that's actually working backwards and kind of preventing the progress in a way. It's like finding the sweet spot.
Yeah. Again, it's individual, but it's also you can see patterns, right? So if you're honest with yourself about what happens when you do too much of a good thing, that's the best thing that you can find out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked hope for the day, the future for hope for the day.
Yeah.
How about you personally? Is there a trajectory that you see yourself on and maybe in a role that you find yourself in with hope for the day as the business or as the organization continues to evolve, where it's like, hey, maybe I want to do less executive directing and I want to focus more on this when it becomes a thing, if it becomes a thing, you know?
It's a good question.
It's a very like theoretical question.
It's a theoretical question. again, I told you guys probably more honest than I should have. I didn't anticipate being here for a long time.
Yeah.
When I started, I do now. I do feel good about the work and the way that we do it. I do feel, and I see, not that I didn't then, but I was a little bit more selfish. I see a lane for us to be able to grow and expand this and to move it into expand the ways that we do things and move it into new places and new communities where I think we're super needed. And so to the extent that I'm able to get our people and our resources moving in those directions and able to do that as a good leader,
Yeah.
I want to keep doing it. If it comes to a point where I'm honest with myself and my team's honest with me that I'm not the right person to lead this team, I hope that we can find the right way to bring in the person who can. And when I'd taken this job, I had sort of said it jokingly, but I think somebody who looks less like me should probably be in this seat. I just, in general, white guys, mixed history, right? Some good, some bad. We've done some shit, but like for us to build trust and credibility in, communities that have been disenfranchised from dudes who look like me, it's going to take some truth and reconciliation, right?
Yeah. That hard, honest look in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, and so if we do find that the limiting factor of us growing and supporting non-English speaking communities, supporting traditionally non-white communities is me and leadership, that we have an honest conversation about it and we step back.
Yeah.
So until that day, I'm going to keep grinding and try to keep putting everything in as best out as I can. And
I mean, to be able to identify that as a possibility, one is a huge stride from where I think most people land. So like the fact that you are in tune with that and are able to like adjust and pivot with that if it becomes a thing, I think alone speaks volumes, I think, to your character as well as the character of Hope for the Day and the evolution that they take on over the next 10, 15 billion years, So, please chime in with any questions, Ron. I could just ramble. Are there any like markets or partnerships that you want to be with, or that maybe you don't have currently that you're like, it'd be really cool to partner with someone in this field or that field or like this or like that?
Yeah, great question. So it's the right question. We are looking for media and content production.
Cool.
Right. So like we're looking to add to our board specifically in PR and media. If you happen to be listening to this and you are an executive in PR and media, hit me up.
Dude.
Very easy to find. We're looking to add in media and PR, again, just trying to amplify and broaden out this message, right? So I don't have a specific, if we could talk to
this person, that
correct.
person.
It's more of a, hey, if we know about storytelling, we are able to tell authentic stories and promote them, produce them, promote them. We're looking for those friends.
Love it.
On the ground, bars and restaurants, everybody in hospitality that's listening, we'll send you 86 The Silence licenses. It's a great program. It's supremely well developed, specifically focused for hospitality folks.
The options are open. You're pretty open with various types of collaborating and various partnerships and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the beautiful things about being around for this long and having tried a bunch of stuff is we've got a swim lane for not everybody, but a lot of everybody. Yeah.
On that note, I was going to ask: is there anybody or any organization, and you obviously don't have to say names, that have come to you, be like, "Hey, we want to partner with you guys," and you guys were like, "Thanks, but no thanks."
Big gun manufacturer.
Oh, I feel like that checks out. That like,
yeah, and it
kind of weird. Like, hey, maybe not the exact partnership we're looking to make.
Well, so here's the thing, and I don't want to give them credit, but I don't want to necessarily be like, come on, guys.
Give them a free pass either.
It didn't feel like the conversations that we were having didn't feel like whitewashing. I think that they were genuinely trying to get suicide prevention resources out because guns are a primary methodology of suicide, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that they're bad for gun manufacturers, right?
Yes.
In general, if you make guns, you want people to believe that they're going to be used for good reason. At this point, I think factually, statistically, it seems like they're being used for not the intended outcome way more than that, right? And so we had a long talk about, can we actually, if we partnered with this organization, could we credibly think that we could prevent suicide?
What does that do to our message? What does that do to who we are?
How does that hurt us in communities, right, where we're trying to be, accepted, heard.
Yeah. And even if the intent is good, the thoughts are still there too. Cause like you said, even if their intent is to like, hey, we want to make sure that people who own guns still have access to these resources because it is dangerous. As a bystander on the outside, I could say comfortably, I would kind of be like, how for this message are you guys really? If this is the relationship,
your immediate response of like, ooh, like, that
you don't want people to have that reaction.
Correct. You can't. I had a lawyer when I was 18 years old because I got into some trouble when I was younger.
You bad boy.
I was a problem. I still remain a problem, but just less so.
Yeah. There's the right kind of trouble and a wrong kind of trouble. Right?
I'm trying to get in more good trouble than bad trouble, but I got in a little bit of bad trouble when I was 18. And the lawyer who we retained was like, this is not that bad of trouble. I'm going to give you a rule of thumb that you can live by. If you can stand in front of the person who's going to ask you what you did, this time it's going to be a judge, might be your girlfriend's dad, might be your dad, might be, the store clerk at a store, right? If you can stand in front of them and not blush when you tell them what you did, you're probably okay.
You're probably on the right side of trouble. You
probably
for the most
did
part.
okay, right? Like you may have made a mistake, you might have done something wrong, but if you can stand there and look your girlfriend's dad in the eye and be like, this is what happened.
It's like, all right,
we can work with that. So,
any other questions there, Ron?
None coming to mind.
Dude, none's coming to mind either.
Great.
Shameless plug time there, Ben. If people wanted to get in touch, or actually, backtrack, final question. You guys do take donations for Hope for the Day. Can you explain a little bit of what those donations go towards?
Yes. So we are an extremely capital efficient organization. Money that comes to our organization goes to fund educations in schools and online. It goes to fund mental health resources, both distribution and the growth and support of our online resource. So HFTD.org, find help. Go download any of our resources. You can go check. You can download e-learning licenses if you'd like to sit through a program, or you can bring us into your school or workplace to have that program delivered.
Oh, cool.
Anything that gets donated to us goes into our fund that we pay everybody to administer those resources, right? So very little gets left over at the end of the year. But when it does, it goes to taking care of our people.
Hey, excellent.
Yeah.
Shameless plug time. Now shameless plug time. If people wanted to look deeper dive into Hope for the Day, if they had questions about Hope for the Day and what you guys do, what are some good outlets for them to look into? Social media, website, things like that.
Follow us on Instagram. Heaviest, most consistent presence for us is going to be on Instagram. It does cross-post to Facebook, but we don't pay attention. So that's just Hope for the Day on Instagram. HFTD, Hope for the Day, HFTD.org is our website. If you want to get in touch with us for any reason, it's just info@, you can DM us on Instagram. It's all going to come to my phone, or, our people will get you triaged and taken care of right away.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us for Out of the Rut, Ben. Listeners, for all those listening through their radios and speakers, if you ever want to submit anonymous stories, we have our online, or we have our subreddit, our Out of the Rut podcast. If you ever want to submit an anonymous story for us to talk about, follow us on social media too, Facebook, Instagram, Out of the Rut podcast. We also have our email, outoftherut@yahoo.com. If you guys have any questions, feedback, friendship, all that good shit, be sure to like us, follow us, send us to a friend that you feel like might be in need, and just know that, like Hope for the Day always says, it's okay to not be okay. You're not the only one struggling. There's a community out there for you. But on that note, gentlemen,
great close, strong close.
This was Out of the Rut.
Strong finish.
I know, and I'm butchering it by continuing to talk. But y'all stay lit, never quit. And we'll see you guys next time on Out of the Rut.
Nice.